The movie I'm going to talk about is a film that has taken the world by storm, be it in a positive or a negative light. Many people love this new take on the Caped Crusader, and many people think he doesn't compare to others like Christian Bale or Ben Affleck. Viewers saw this film as a huge waste of nearly 3 hours and not impressive, while loving other films like Spider Man No Way Home. As a massive Spider Man fan who grew up in all things Spidey, with Spider Man 2 used to being my favorite comic book movie of all time, when No Way Home came out in December 2021, I watched it twice on premiere day. On my first viewing, I thought, oh, did I not like this once in a lifetime film? Am I going crazy? But on my second viewing, my concerns were confirmed. And that's that No Way Home is a massive and utter failure, in my opinion. But that's a topic for a different day. I was lost, confused. If Spider Man failed me, what other hero do I look up to? And then, 3 months later, it released. The Batman is a film that immediately grabbed me by the thrusty with the test footage. I am not a massive Batman fan. I watched the Nolan trilogy. I kind of enjoyed them. I never thought The Dark Knight was all that, while all my friends praise it's the best movie of all time. I watched my dad play Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, and I played Arkham City and Arkham Knight when I grew up. And that's about it. When it was announced that Robert Pattinson was cast as Batman, everyone scoffed and looked the other way, making fun of how he was the dude from Twilight, while I turned to watch. When it was announced that it'd be a story of a younger Batman with more emphasis on the detective side and directed by Matt Reeves, at first, the movie had my attention and now they have my undying services. From the test footage to the trailers, when the first track released on a random day, the release day, this movie was the only thing on my mind. In these types of videos, I usually say the whole plot and then talk about why I love this film with little depth. But for this video, I'll assume you've seen the movie already, and I'll go into a little bit more depth about everything else, and hopefully change your mind on the Batman and appreciate it just a bit more. I want to talk about what made The Batman one of my favorite movies of all time and what is easily the best comic book film of all time. I also want to talk about The Penguin and why that's the best show I've seen in recent years, and easily the best comic book TV adaptations ever. When talking about movies, people talk about the visuals, the action, the story, and while, yeah, they are important, I believe sound is the most important thing in any piece of media, be it, obviously, music, video games, and movies. You can imagine your favorite video game, and that imagination will also be accompanied by sound. No one wants to watch anything if it has bad audio, like YouTube videos, and I know I'm guilty of that. I believe that the Batman sound is a character in the film. It makes Gotham alive and makes an action such as walking feel awesome and powerful. In the opening of the film, all we hear is Ave Maria and the Riddler's breathing. The breathing was so much lower than the music, and yet it rises. The film makes it so that the breathing is the most important thing that you hear, deafening Ave Maria. In the church, we hear what seems to be like the Riddler's iconic gasping breathing, but then followed up by a cough. The first figure in shadow is never revealed, so we don't know, though it probably is him. Bruce is paranoid, and so are we, because we know as the audience that he'll show up. The sound in Gotham is mostly rain, and this is the best rain I've ever heard in a film. I also think that this is the most rain used I've ever seen in a film. The majority of the movie has Gotham flooding in rain, and it accompanies the characters that we follow, never letting up. And yet, the sound of the rain changes depending on the scene. When the thugs see the bat signal and the shadows, the rain sounds scary,
They think
cold,
I'm hiding in the
loud,
shadows.
menacing. When Bruce and Selena talk and are together, the rain sounds romantic.
Look at me.
When Bruce visits Alfred in the hospital, the rain sounds sad and yet cozy and safe. The rain is constantly around our characters, but it's never there in annoyance. In this scene with Bruce and Selena, the rain goes quieter when the two get closer, putting more focus on the two. Like in real life, when you're focused on something or someone, the noise of everything else dims.
Look at me.
Now let me play the scene, but keeping the rain the same constant noise.
Look at me.
And it obviously doesn't sound that good at all. Or the shootout before the famous Batmobile chase scene. The rain completely goes quiet when the gunshots start flying. Even though we clearly see the streets still pouring, it's not as if the rain stopped. If I don't dim the rain and keep it the same levels, the gunshots are quieter and less impactful. In other pieces of media, when a character has an earpiece and other characters talk through the earpiece, it always has that weird filter. You know which one I'm talking about. Or how you hear someone over the phone, like radio ish, electronically ish.
Hey, Mom, I can't find my high tops and Dad can't find them either.
But in the Batman, holy fuck.
That's one of the guys I got into it with the other night.
The rain also makes another sound so sexy. Batman's boots. Remove the visuals and they are still terrifying. Some goons only heard his footsteps and they were spooked. And so was I at the theater. Everything sounds perfect. Here are a few clips of the sounds that are orgasmic. The sound in the Batman is unlike anything I've ever heard in a film or in a video game, and Christ, it is something so truly special. Also, Bruce's voice as the Batman is the quietest voice, and yet it's so loud and powerful, emotive, very heavy with emotion, unlike compared to, Christian Bale's voice where it's this dark creature of the night. I'm Batman, or Ben Affleck with the voice modulator, which I was never really a fan of. Aside from the sound effects in this film, I think the music speaks for itself. I won't delve too much into it, but oh my god, the soundtrack elevates everything, and you guys, you guys know, the soundtrack personally connects to the characters. Riddler's theme, the Ave Maria, and Selena's theme play every now and then when they're involved. When Bruce and Carmine Falcone arrive at the church, we slowly transition from Bruce's theme to Selena's theme. We think the woman with Carmine is Selena, and so does Bruce. And if you saw the set leak photos, that was the point. Also, the transition of the two themes, oh my god. Now, let me talk about the main theme of the Batman. Yeah, you guys know which one. The test footage and the trailers featured a motif of 4 or 5 piano notes playing, and let's just say I lost. The track The Batman released in January, 2 months before the official movie release, and that is actually the only thing I heard for 2 months. I'm gonna be honest, no track before has ever made me cry. But this shit right here, this shit means something to me. It felt so dark, so vengeance like, but then it slowly rises to become heroic, something so beautiful. Michael Giacchino fucking cooked, and he knows he did. I watched the film countless times, many times, and I counted how many times a single note from the theme is played. And I don't mean how many times during a single track, but how they're sprinkled in different tracks of the soundtrack and in moments of the film. I counted 27 times.
It's way over the line. Wait.
Batman's presence and importance is everywhere, and every time the theme is played, it's different. In the beginning, it's foreboding and menacing, and at the end, it's soft and accompanied by bells to show sort of a baptism and a hero being born, vengeance being reborn into Batman. It's all in all good shit. Michael Giacchino, I need you to make a better theme than this. I don't know if it's ever possible, but I pray that the Batman 2's theme blows this one out of the water. It's teased in the background, hidden by the car covers, then revealed a tiny bit more, just a bit unfocused, until it's awoken. This is one of the best sounds my ears ever laid upon in the theater. Oh my god, I just can't explain it. If you watch it in the theater, you know what I'm talking about. The Batmobile, its own entity, its own beast. In the chase scene, when Oz and the audience can't see the Batmobile in the rainy freeway, we hear it. And it's like the mighty roar of a lion.
So let me be clear.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was driving home from work one day after a long day of work. In reality, it was like 6 or 7 hours. And then I wait till the Anger Zone started playing and I blacked out. I found myself going 100 miles per hour in my little 2016 Honda Fit. Dude, I thought shit was sweet. I didn't think vengeance was gonna take over. I quickly snapped out of it and I had to skip this track immediately. And I haven't listened to this in my car ever since because I'm scared. I'm scared of the beast that's gonna come out.
Person to come out, because if he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just, I hate that guy. I'm scared of him.
Everyone talks about the visuals in the Batman. And why wouldn't they? This is one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen, and it's a Batman movie. In my opinion, it's tied for the best visually looking movie with Blade Runner 2049. And you guys know how I feel about Blade Runner 2049. And it's a Batman movie. You'd expect dark shadows, almost no visibility, and I wouldn't blame you. But this movie gets smothered in bright blues, blinding reds, beautiful yellows, and of course, darkness. The contrast from deep shadows to colorful lights in the same frame, it's almost like comic book drawings come to life. And even the actors said it themselves. Greg Fraser is the cinematographer of this film, and I fucking love this man. Compared to other comic book films, or other films in general, they just don't compare. The shadows and silhouettes are just so sexy. And when I heard that he might not do the cinematography for the sequel because he'd be doing Dune Messiah, I almost walked to Warner Brothers headquarters to kill people. Dune Part 1 and 2 are amazing in the visuals because he shot them as well. But the Batman is in its own league. I'm not a cinematographer, so I'm honestly not that knowledgeable, but I do love what I see. The whole movie, the center frame is sharp, while the corners are sort of off focus and slightly blurry, drawing further attention to the middle. And this is intentional. Specific special lenses were used for this exact look. And even Greg Fraser talks about it. This film is very point of view driven, as the camera follows Bruce's feet when he walks, his head when using the wingsuit as if they just clipped the GoPro onto his helmet, which they did, and literally his point of view from his eyes when he uses the video eye contacts. We also always get shots of Batman's teary eyes, and they are surreal. I'm gonna be honest, I'm gay for this, man. So much emotion is captured in the eyes when a character's face is behind a mask. The camera is a character as it goes everywhere, and the camera gets stuck to things, and we just see the camera get up close and personal. And it gets dirty because of the rain, or it shatters when Penguin shoots at it. We go from a shot up window to a clearly visible Batman in the Batmobile. Like, how? We're in the middle of the movie as an audience, and it feels so real. Compare this movie and its visuals to the best comic book movie of all time, and yeah. The use of the volume compared to green screen is night and day. The stagecraft volume from ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, is a massive wall that has visuals, for actors to act in, like a background. I don't know too much of it, but I suggest looking it up because some of it is really amazing stuff compared to that movie. Hi. Nowadays, many films and shows use the volume and they look so ugly. The texture in this film is unreal and it looks so good thanks to the volume. When Batman lights up a flare to save the people of Gotham and you see him being followed by everyone, it's surreal. Seeing this in the theater literally made me silently cry. More on that later though. Finally, on the visuals, because everyone knows it's a visually beautiful movie, Gotham. In Nolan's trilogy, in my opinion, Gotham doesn't look like Gotham, a city from New Jersey. It looks like Chicago, and that's because it was filmed there. Here, Gotham is dark and wet, except it's also illuminated by neon lights, massive billboards everywhere, and a whole bunch of sodium vapor light. It's alive and busy. In other Batman films, the only crime going on is from the main antagonist, like Joker or Bane. In The Batman, there's an attempted robbery, arson, violence, and an underground drug problem all at the same time by different people. Also, in the visuals, most of this film is all practical and it shows because, oh my goodness. I assume people who are watching this video have already watched the film, so I'm not going to talk about the whole film and its plot, but I want to talk about some things that I found amazing. A little bit of its themes, its parallels, and its overarching story for the Batman and the Batman Part 2. In the opening scene, we start with a point of view shot from binoculars, and we assume it's Bruce investigating and doing his detective work. We see a father and a son. Maybe this is Bruce reminiscing of his childhood, but then we hear the signature heavy breathing. It's the Riddler. When Batman is watching Selina, we see the exact type of binocular point of view. After Riddler kills Mayor Mitchell, he's shot from a lower point of view, looks up slowly, and gives a sigh of pleasure. When Batman confronts and knocks out the first train gang member, Batman is shot from a lower point of view, slowly looks up, and he looks relieved, almost as if fighting that thug gave him immense pleasure. They're two sides of the same coin, and in a way, Riddler was right the whole time. Another thing that I love from the Batman is how he fights. He fights as if every single person he fights is the person that killed his parents. Every punch feels personal and heavy with emotion. He stated that he isn't afraid of dying, and that's how he fights. He barely dodges, and he'd rather take gunshots, which he has. Multiple of them. many times. He fights as if the whole world is after him. He's slow and meticulous, but when he fights, he's fast as lightning. When we first see Bruce and Carmine Falcone together, Falcone recounts the story of when Thomas Wayne saved his life when he got shot.
Kid here, he saw the whole thing, up on the stairs looking down. I remember your face.
And when he gets shot again, many people probably know this by now, but others didn't. I'm just pointing that out. Seconds before he passes away, Falcone figured out that the Batman was Bruce, a scared kid looking down at him. Throughout the film, Bruce learns to value his life and others, and that the effect he's had on people is not the one he intended. Yeah, I'm repeating what Bruce said, but media illiteracy is so prevalent that some people just have to be spoon-fed information. In the beginning of the film, saving the man from the train gang, Batman arrives from the shadows, and the man is afraid. "Don't hurt me," he says. When Batman saves the people from the flood near the end, he arrives bathed in light, and no one takes his hand. Until the deceased Mayor Mitchell's son takes his hand. I was rewatching this movie while writing this script, and it never fails to make me emotional. This moment right here made me a bona fide The Batman glazer, making me defend it till the end of time. In an unused version of the Batman's theme, there's a quick, heroic segment with trumpets, and oh my goodness, I need this as his theme in the second film. Although he may not start out heroic at first due to what happened in this film with Gotham flooding, I believe Batman will rise once again at the end of the second movie. Matt Reeves said that Batman feels that he is guilty for what happened, and that's why he didn't show up in The Penguin. And that's how he'll be in The Batman Part 1, struggling with his identity because he blames himself for the flooding. Because of this battle of the self, I think the villain will 100% be Hush for The Batman Part 2. But speaking of his absence in the spin-off show, let's talk about... I just want to say that I never once doubted the Penguin as soon as it got revealed. I didn't do a lunch review video for it because I knew I wanted to give it the care and attention it deserves with the script. If you haven't watched The Penguin, or maybe had some doubts about it, get rid of those immediately and watch it. This little section will be spoiler free until I say it is, and then you can skip it to some timestamp so you don't have to get spoiled. Getting my one of two very slight negatives with this show, the cinematography isn't that special or unique, and it's not shot by Greg Fraser, so that explains all of it. Sometimes the shots look, I don't know, like, I don't know, man, but that's very some shots, while the other shots are extremely beautiful. The story for The Penguin is a masterpiece. 11 minutes into the first episode, and I audibly said, "Oh, fuck." Immediately, Penguin shows that he's business. No slow build-up, no false hype, just work getting done. This takes place 1 week after the events of the first film, so the city is still suffering from the effects of the flooding that Riddler has caused. The saddest part is when we see the flooding from a point of view of a poor kid. It was realistic and natural dread. The Penguin, or Oswald Cobb, not Cobblepot. I know it's dumb, but it doesn't really change the story that much, so I honestly don't care. Oz is our main protagonist, but by no means is he a hero. He's not the kind of character where he's a villain at the start and then slowly gets good. No. He starts evil and ends up even more villainous. Colin Farrell played him fantastically in the first film. He was funny and elevated the whole character to a new pedestal in this miniseries. He said, and I quote, "I'd be surprised if anyone liked him by the end of 8. And I had that comment in the back of my mind the whole show, but I wasn't prepared. In every episode, some brutal stuff happens, but 8 broke me. The Penguin tells us the backstory of Oswald Cobb and his rise to power, facing bigger enemies, and somehow, even when the odds are against them and the antagonists feel extremely evil and unforgivable, Oz finds a way to surpass them in his ruthlessness. The new characters all stand out and are amazing, but I have to give a special shout out to Kristen Miliotti's character, Sophia Falcone, because she stole every scene she was in. She was terrifying, and you'd wonder how Oz would overcome her. The story is grounded and very penguin-like, which is insane because this story is connected to The Batman, a film about a costumed man fighting a Zodiac killer wannabe. I don't know, I can't say much without spoiling, but in my opinion, The Penguin is a 10 out of 10. Alright, now I'm gonna go into spoilers, so skip to this time to skip the spoilers. Now, I want to say, fuck this show and fuck Oswald Cobb. Oh my god, I spit on this motherfucker's face. I need Batman to hit him with the BXXXXXXXXXXX. This dude, oh my god, he killed Victor and made his girlfriend dress up as his vegetable mother. Dude, I fucking love this show because I knew from the very start Victor was going to die as soon as Oz took him in, but I wasn't expecting this, man. Colin Farrell is such a master at acting with that fat suit because his face after he kills Victor showed me a lot. Oz isn't killing Vic out of malicious intent. He genuinely thinks that he's doing the right thing for himself and in a way for Vic. I love how in the end of the series, he gets his comic accurate suit because that's what he thinks it means to be someone at the top. Then that's what he's been believing since he was a kid. And speaking of kid, his backstory pissed me off so goddamn much. And that shows how effective it was. His kid actor, I don't know his name. Oh my god, he was fantastic. Dude, Jesus Christ, man. The whole final episode in general is... I have no complaints for it. And here's actually my reaction to the final episode.
That's the thing about family.
No!
It's your strength.
No!
It drives you.
No!
You can't have that shot, can it?
No! No! Oh my fucking god. No! Oh my fucking god. Oh god damn it!
It wasn't for nothing.
You fucking bitch! Damn it. And he stole his fucking money. Sophia getting a letter from Selena and looking happy by reading it means that she'll come back, and I can't wait. The ending with the bat signal lit a fire in my heart after the death of Vic. And here's my reaction to that. What the fuck, man? Fucking crazy ass series, bro. Holy shit. What I love about this series is the continuity from the first film, obviously, bringing up Salvatore Moroni, and we finally see him here. The graffiti on the pillars from the opening scene, the talk about drops and finally seeing them, everything is perfect. My other complaint from the show is that Batman isn't mentioned a single time. I found it okay that he doesn't show up at all, but I just wish some street thugs here and there mentioned him. I get it, he's not that big of a threat yet, and it's just his second year, but, you know, I wanted a small mention. Matt Reeves said that after the flood, Batman blames himself for it, and that's great. He doesn't have time to go for big shot mafia families either. He has to be helping the people and rebuilding Gotham. I also don't watch review videos for anything, but I assume a lot of people have already talked enough about this film, and that's amazing. I just hope that more people watch it. Also, the shot of Oz smiling as the mother and son burn alive. Oh my god, I need this motherfucker extinguished. Yeah, so I think the Batman and the Penguin trump any piece of comic book adaptation media. They're my goat. I love the Batman so much that I actually made... Fuck. I asked my sister to make this piece. Fuck. Ah, the light. Hold on. Hold on, this is important. This shit. of the Batman, right? You can see it. And then if you turn it around, there's Mask. Yeah. This shit. I love this shit. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. I hope you rewatch the Batman if you didn't like it the first time. Watch the Penguin. Maybe appreciate it a bit more. Because, goddamn. I could have and I would have talked about this for so fucking long, easily an hour, but I'm not trying to edit all that. So, yeah, just know I missed out on a whole bunch of details, and I was thinking about incorporating them, but laziness won that day. So yeah, thank you. Yeah.